Hey everybody, I'm JJ. You're watching Reality Survival, and today we're going to talk a little bit about a nuclear fallout survival kit. I've been talking to you guys about this for a while, and it's just been crazy with getting ready for the move and all that kind of stuff. And so, but I'm finally going to get it out, and I'm going to show you a couple of things that I've got in a small kit over here. We'll take a look at that. This is a mission darkness Faraday bag, and we'll kind of go through some of the odds and ends that I've got in there. But primarily, what I wanted to talk about was the uh, the 9 basic needs, and how you want to go about creating, or deciding what you want to put into your survival kits, because really it's all situationally dependent. But there are 9 essential areas that you want to cover when you do this. And if you if it looks like I'm looking at the camera a little bit, it's because I'm using this new little thing. It's an artificial intelligence cameraman called the Ozbot, and so like it'll follow me as I'm moving, which is kind of cool, I think. Let me know what you guys think about in the comments, but I think it's kind of neat. And then I've also got a little lav mic here that I've been trying out because the echo is so bad in here, so I was trying to hopefully make it better. But anyway, let's go through these 9 real quick. So when I do certain hand gestures, it like makes the thing stop following me or start following me, and I'm not used to that. Anyway, so for pretty much any time you're putting together a survival kit, or you're putting together any kind of it be a bug out bag, a get home bag, something like this for a nuclear fallout shelter, or whatever the case may be, you want to touch these 9 areas. And so they are sustenance, number 1, that's food and water; protection from the elements, that's number 2; number 3 is health; and number 4 is security; number 5 is power generation; number 6 is communication; number 7 is travel; number 8 is tools; and number 9 is admin. So if you cover all those areas, then pretty much in any kit that you're going to put together, you should have all the things that you really need. So with the ones that I started with, or I'll just kind of go down what I did in my house before I started packing everything up. For sustenance, we had 8 cases of MREs. We had 10 cases of bottled water that had 40 half-liter bottles in each case. And again, we were just planning for like 10 days of 4 people. And if you had to stay down longer, then maybe stay down a little longer. But this was kind of just what we were thinking. As far as protection from the elements, we were going to be sheltering in our basement, so we didn't have to really worry about anything else aside from that, aside from moving mass, around us. If you haven't seen the series that I did on basically how to deal with radiation and fallout and how to prepare your home and all that kind of stuff, go back and watch that playlist. That'll help you understand a little bit of what we're talking about here. Then, as far as protection from the elements, we were going to put some blankets down there, some sleeping bags, and some cots to sleep on. It was a fairly decent sized room. It was basically my gun room where we were going to shelter. And yeah, so that was pretty much it. So for health, the main things that I put in there was I have a Stomp first aid kit or trauma kit, just in case we had any, bleeding or knocked down trees or anything like that. I mean, we're a long ways out from the city, but depending on the size of the nuclear yield and all that kind of stuff, you never would know for sure. So then we also had Bible, various books and board games, because you're going to get really, really bored sitting around for like 10 days. We also had a couple bottles of the fresh potassium iodate pills, a luggable loo 5-gallon bucket with liners and gel packs to soak up the moisture from the urine. We'll show some more of that later. Also had a bunch of baby wipes. And we also have a shower and a bathroom that's downstairs also, and it would be fully functional if needed. but we would try to stay away from that because it's on an outer wall. So we try not to use that if possible. So then for security, like I said, our shelter room is my gun room, so there was no problem with that. And we also have wireless ring security cameras on the exterior of the house. Now, depending on where the location of the bomb would go off, we may or may not have, those. You might have an EMP, an electromagnetic pulse. Now, our house is protected with two EMP shields. If you guys want to get an EMP shield for your house or for your vehicle, you can use the discount code Reality Survival at empshield.com, and it'll save you $50 per unit. So that's kind of cool. So the ring camera should work, but I mean, who knows? So then what else do we have for security? We had cameras on the exterior of the house. We got the EMP shields and the whole house generator with a 1,000-gallon propane tank. So that should last about 2 weeks roughly. And that would be if you're using a lot of electricity and all that kind of stuff, which we really wouldn't be. Then you've got, so we can see outside with those cameras. And then I also have a DJI mini drone if that was needed. Now, I don't actually have the drone inside of a Faraday bag, but I would need to put that in there if I was going to make sure that it was protected, because it doesn't plug in to the house grid. All right, so that's security. Like I said, we got plenty of firearms and ammo in the gun room as well. Then with power generation, I mentioned this, we had a whole house generator. I also have the Energy Kodiak, and then I also have, let's see if I can get this thing to follow me. There we go. Then I also have this little King little solar generator, and it's actually pretty good. It lasts quite a while and does quite a bit of stuff. It's got some different outlets on the front and on the back. I think it's like half the power of the Kodiak, but not too bad. And the reason I got this Mission Darkness bag, Faraday bag, was so that I could put the Kodiak inside of it. Now, I don't have it out because it's already packed right now, but that's the intended purpose of it. So I've got some other stuff in here now that I'll show you here in a second. Let's see here. So we got the King generator, and then we got different batteries and stuff. And then I did have, if it was wintertime when I started writing this, or it was colder, we did also have a propane-powered indoor heater, just in case if we needed to take that down there, but that probably wouldn't be necessary at this time of year. So then for communication, we'll take a look at here a second. I've got a little CC Crane multi-band receiver and a pair of Hys LMR 25-watt walkie-talkies. The reason I got the 25-watt walkie-talkies, the high-power ones, is because I wanted it to be able to penetrate out through the basement and go at least several hundred yards around the house in case somebody had to go out or whatever. Now, obviously you wouldn't want to do that unless you absolutely had to, and then you would also want to make sure that you had some sort of gas mask or whatever, which we did have a Mira Safety gas mask, and I've got some old military ones as well. So that's the communication that I had down there. And that the CC Crane radio is pretty cool. We'll look at it here in a second. Number 7 was travel. Not really applicable because you're pretty much going to stay in place, but if needed, I do have 2 trucks here with EMP shields. We've got plenty of fuel. You might be able to see the fuel tank right, the corner of it right in front of the truck right there. It's a 100-gallon tank. And then I've got an old ATV. It would probably run fine. My tractor might not run since it doesn't have the EMP shield on it yet. But it's super unlikely that you'd have to ever even go anywhere. As far as tools go, the tool category, I've got 2 Geiger counters, 2 radiological survey meters, spare batteries, charging cables. Got some military ponchos, and that would be if you were going to go out in the fallout while it was coming down, just to keep it kind of off your clothes and everything. Jackets, glove, gas mask, extra filters, and radiation dosimeters. Also, I've got multiple 10-pound fire extinguishers just in case of fire and stuff like that. And then a roll of Gorilla tape for taping the door sweeps. Not really necessary probably, but you know, better than safe than sorry or whatever. You don't got to go crazy and put tarps and stuff everywhere. I did have some tarps and staple guns though, just in case we had any windows that were broken, and just to cover those and seal those up. And again, we're not anywhere close to any kind of probable target, so it's unlikely that we would have any damaged gas where we live. And then number 9 is admin. There's really not too much that's applicable with this one for this situation, but we would go ahead and grab our emergency binder and take that downstairs with us. So that is the basic, come on, follow me. So that's the basic things, you know, that I would be thinking about. All right. Now, let's go ahead and get into this kit. This is a pretty cool bag. I got just a bunch of junk in here, so you're just going to kind of get to see it as I pull it out. Like I said, it's a pretty large bag. So these are the gel packs, and I'll put some links to this stuff down in the description. But these are the gel packs to put in the bottom of the luggable loo after you do your business. What that does is that kind of soaks up all the liquid and turns it into a gel, and it helps it from smelling so bad and all that, and it keeps it from leaking out and all that kind of jazz as much. So those are pretty inexpensive and, you know, just good to have. This is a little personal radiation dosimeter as well. Here are some bags for the 5-gallon bucket, the luggable loo. Have a couple of N95 masks. Some more bags, some D-cell batteries for the radiological meters, potassium iodine tablets, and what else do we got in here? Some AA batteries. I think these are AAA batteries. And these are Faraday Defense bags. And some of this stuff was going to go in a different bag, and it wasn't a Faraday bag, so that's why I had them in these. But I just put it all in this to bring it out here. All right. So this is the CC Crane radio. Pretty cool little radio. It's kind of expensive, but it's a pretty cool little kit. It comes with an extendable antenna so that you could take this up and run it, you know, nice and high. And then the radio is very small, as you can see, but it has a lot of different bands. That's the, you know, built-in antenna. Has a lot of different bands. It's got AM, FM, weather, air, so your air traffic, shortwave, and single sideband, all in that one little radio. I thought that was pretty cool. It seems to work very well. It gets good, you know, good reception and all that kind of stuff from when I've tested it out. See, I don't have any batteries in it right now, so. But we could look at more of this in detail if you guys want to see an actual review on it and all that. We could do that. Probably don't have time for it right in this video right now, though. Let me get this back in the box. Oops. Okay, so let's move that over. See what else we got in here. It's kind of like Christmas time. I don't even remember what else in here. Oh, this is a Geiger counter, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So this is a little Geiger counter right here. Just it's kind of a cheapy one that I got off of Amazon, GQ Electronics. I'm not 100% certain how accurate it is. I think I need to, oh, there we go. Got it going. But it's a fairly simple readout. It's fairly easy to read and stuff. It does change when I put it next to different things. Like I've got a little radiation sample sheet, and it kind of gets closer to it, and it goes higher. It gets higher when you like lay it on concrete. It gets higher when you're getting closer to like bananas. So it is pretty sensitive, and it does work. And it's just one particular reading. I don't know that I could put like my seal of approval on any of these, because I'm not convinced how robust they are or how accurate they are, but I'll put the links to them down in the description below. They were getting kind of hard to find when all this Russia and Ukraine stuff kicked off, so I'm not sure how many of them are still in stock. They might not be. It's very possible that you can't find them anymore. All right. See what else we got here. Oh, this is the other one. It says, look at their box. There is no best, only better. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I think it's some kind of a Chinese misinterpretation or something. I don't know. Oh, I don't have any batteries in this one. So just another basic kind of Geiger counter. It's got these holes in the back where the receiver is, and it was the same way as the other one. It seemed to work, seemed to change, when it would get close to the source and when it would be further away and all that kind of stuff. So, but again, not sure how robust it really is. What else? Oh, that's just a strap for the bag, and then this got a big variety pack of these Faraday defense bags. I have not done any testing to see how well these things work. Oh, this was something that I didn't put on my list, but it's something that I threw in the bag here. Was just a bunch of different lights, just to have down in there, just in case the lights didn't work or something like that, or to save power or whatever the case may be. These are some little cheapos from Amazon that kind of can point different directions and all that. A couple of those, and a couple of those, just kind of general area lights as well. So just a little bit of that as far as extra lighting goes. And then what else we got here? This bag holds a lot of stuff. It was expensive though. The bag was, I think it was a couple $100, if I remember right. Okay, so these are the Hys Radios. I saw these from the Not a Rubicon channel. Pretty cool. Like I said, they're 25 watt. They're an LMR radio, so you're not supposed to use them unless it's an emergency. So make that clear. Unless you have a license, a business license, you're not supposed to use these. So don't do that. But they've got a pretty solid 4,000 milliamp battery. I mean, that's a big battery, and it also comes with a whip antenna. And so 25 watts with a decent antenna like this, I am very confident. I didn't test it though, but I'm very confident that they will work. That they'll work to be able to punch through a basement foundation and go quite a ways outside the house, so that if somebody had to go outside, we could keep in touch with them. So that's one of them, and then I've got a second one in here as well. Let me set that down there. Okay. I think this is just the second one. We got anything else in there? All right. So that's pretty much that. That's just the other box. So that's pretty much all the stuff that we had. Come on, mister. Again, a lot of this stuff that I didn't show you, like the MREs and the water and the cots and all that kind of stuff, is just down in the basement, right? So, but anyway, those are the main things that I would think that you would need to have. Can't really think of too much else. It would be kind of a boring kind of time. Your 10 days is just gonna. You probably wouldn't even need that much food. Like I said, I had 8 cases of MREs. That was more than enough. Probably there are 14 MREs in each, and we got 4 people, so that would have been 2 MREs a day. I don't think just sitting around you're going to eat that much. Definitely wouldn't need that much water for 10 cases with 40 bottles in it each. No way you're not going to need that much. Plus, we also had the sink and shower downstairs if we needed to. We got well water, so we wouldn't have any issues there. Now, let's talk a little bit about the likelihood of something like, a nuclear bomb being dropped. And I've mentioned it in this other series before, but I think it bears mentioning again. Just because we are talking about this issue does not mean that I think that there is a high probability that we are going to have nuclear war. That said, I used to think it was less than 1% chance. Now I'm probably floating between 7 and 10% chance. Here in the Secretary of Defense's comments the other day, and another general, I can't remember which one it was, maybe the new general that's going to take over from NATO command or NATO forces or whatever, talking about how it was a comment roughly, and don't quote me here, but I'm paraphrasing, but it was basically saying that if Russia doesn't let the wheat out of the Black Sea, then they may have to get involved in the war. They meaning the United States. I think that's a huge mistake. I think we can figure out some sort of diplomatic way to get them to release some of that wheat. But anyway, all that's to say is that my notch of how worried or how concerned I am about this has been slowly getting a little bit higher. I still think that I think it's less than a 1 in 10% chance. I really don't think it's that likely, but then maybe that's some normalcy bias. You know what I'm saying? Like I admit that maybe that's what that is. Let's hope not. But it doesn't hurt to just make sure you've got a few things ready to go. As you can see, none of the stuff here on this list is really anything all that big. It wasn't that difficult to put together. It wasn't extraordinarily specialized or anything like that. There's really not a whole lot of crazy stuff that you need to be able to deal with nuclear fallout. Probably, the most likely scenario would be that it would be a limited exchange, and that would be just a few bombs here or there. Well, even if there was a bomb that got dropped in, let's say, Indianapolis. I live on the outskirts, way out in the boonies. Chances are good that I wouldn't even have to shelter, because the fallout's only going to go, usually in the direction of the prevailing winds, and that is not where I'm actually at from Indy. So I may not even have to shelter, but some people might have to. Some people might not have to. You're just going to have to follow the guidance that you get from public authorities and all that kind of stuff. Maybe it's just a good idea to do it just in case anyway. It's hard to say, but I don't believe that a full on nuclear exchange kind of thing is something that people should be losing sleep over. The United States has got better defenses for this kind of stuff than anybody else in the world, and I don't personally lose much sleep about it. But throwing together a few things just to have ready in your basement, it's not that hard, and it could help you be a little bit more prepared and a little bit ready, if you wanted to. I do think having an EMP shield on vehicles is a good idea. That way, if something happens when you're out and about, then you can your vehicle will still run and you'll be able to get home. Having them on your home and for like a whole house generator and all that kind of stuff, I think that's important too. But if I had to choose, if I was on a limited budget, I would choose to make sure that I had one on my vehicle before I had one you know, in my house, probably. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Did I forget anything here in the video? What do you think about the artificial intelligence cameraman? Is that kind of cool, or is it distracting? I think it's kind of neat personally, but not really sure what it's like watching it. So I guess I'll have to see how this video does. I'm pretty impressed with how well it stays with me. Even when I walk around, like if I come over here, go way back over here in the corner or whatever, you know, it still kind of tracks. And with the wireless lav mic, I think it sounds okay, which is, you know, kind of cool too. So anyway, that's it for today. I'll have some links to some of these things down in the description below if you guys want to check them out. And again, check out empshield.com. Use the discount code Reality Survival to save $50 per unit. If you got any other questions, put them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer. And last but not least, go over to realitysurvival.substack.com and subscribe to our newsletter. We have a weekly newsletter that goes out. For people who decide to subscribe, we're going to be having exclusive content going over there where we're going to put videos out just for the paid subscribers. We're also going to be putting out podcasts and, like I said, a weekly newsletter. This next week is going to be a fairly extensive look at mass shootings and school shootings and what I think the issues are, how we go about fixing it, and we're going to be taking a look at cultural issues as well as physical security issues as well. So anyway, guys, I would love to see you subscribe over there, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to live 6 Ps. Proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. Stay safe, guys.